Good Sunday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm the host for South Carolina Weather, Just Peterson, and let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Sunday evening. Now, looking at the radar right now, as you can see, South Carolina is doing relatively well. No precipitation is falling as of now. But if we go ahead and talk about the entire United States, not all can be said. We do have flood watches all the way down into like Louisiana, Texas, going all the way to the Panhandle of Florida, Alabama, and Georgia as well. We have some severe storms going on in the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, as well as western portions of Kansas and western portions of Nebraska as well. If we go ahead and switch that over to the winter weather radar, though, you see that not a lot of snow is falling, if any. We just have this cluster of strong storms and downpours going through the Midwest right now into the Central Plains, as well as down here inside of the Deep South as well. We have some scattered showers over here in Arizona and New Mexico, as well as some showers going through on Oregon, California, and Nevada as well. The East Coast is also looking relatively well, except for up here in Pennsylvania and up here in the Northeast. So let's go ahead and talk about our cloud cover. If we go ahead and lay a cloud cover now, you can obviously see that we do have some cloud cover, mainly high clouds going over the state right now. It's not really too noticeable if you look up, but because they're so high up in the air. But as of now, just some wispy clouds out there, some couple of clearing spots, but it's not a lot. Here's our cloud cover for the future. If we go ahead and push this forward, you can see that cloud cover does get taken over, especially as we get into like late tomorrow morning, like 4 to 5 a.m. And then a couple of spots clearing as we get into our late morning, around 10 to 11 a.m. And then once we get into the afternoon, the cloud cover really just tries to stay. So it's going to be a kind of mostly cloudy type of day tomorrow. Not a whole lot of sunshine, but here is our current temperature: 73 in Columbia, 71 in Charleston, 70 in Myrtle Beach, 71 in Savannah, 68 in Loris, 73 in Augusta, 70 in Anderson, 68 in Greenville, 68 in Rock Hill, and then 71 up there inside of Bennettsville. Here's our low temperatures for tonight: 66 in Charleston, 68 in Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head Island, 62 in Myrtle Beach, 57 in Columbia, 58 inside of Aiken, and then 56 up there for Greenville, Anderson, 54 for Spartanburg and Rock Hill. Here's our forecasted precipitation for the next 24 hours: around a good 100th of an inch to around a 10th of an inch for mainly going all the way from Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, Lawrence, Newberry, Greenwood, Orangeburg, Barnwell, Walterboro, and Hilton Head Island, with the potential for a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch, pretty much for the border of Georgia and South Carolina, going all the way from Aiken all the way up to the mountains as well. Here's our SPC outlook for for tomorrow. You can see that we do have a marginal risk that does go into the southwestern portions of South Carolina, or just the southern portion in general, like mainly the actual low country of South Carolina, from Colleton, Jasper County, and then all the way down into like the Hilton Head Island, Beaufort regions, western Charleston and Dorchester County. And then we're not done there either, because if you go on ahead and check through for tomorrow, we have a huge marginal risk of severe weather that goes through all of South Carolina, except for like the Myrtle Beach, Rock Hill regions as well. I do expect that marginal risk probably will expand, because we'll have more confidence of where the severe weather will be at. So it usually doesn't shrink. It usually actually gets larger, especially marginal risk. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Though we do have a 5% chance of hail for like Beaufort, Hilton Head, Allendale, and then we also do have a 5% risk of damaging winds as well. Here is our excessive rainfall outlook. Here's tomorrow again, where with that marginal risk of severe weather, we do have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall that goes from western Berkeley County all the way down into like Allendale. Charleston's included in this. Allendale, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, Walterboro, all those places as well. And we also do have a moderate risk of excessive rainfall. So if you know anybody into like the Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, the western panhandle of Florida, and southern portions of Mississippi, let them know that they're under a moderate risk of excessive rainfall, and we're not even done there either. Here's our day 3 excessive rainfall outlook, where actually most of the state is under a slight, yes, a slight risk of excessive rainfall. So a marginal risk, maybe some minor flooding and some little tiny, like especially in those flash flood prone areas, usually get a little bit of flash flooding, but a slight risk, that's a huge step up. That's around, I'm trying to think, that's around some scattered flash flooding. No, not really talking about minor flooding anymore. Really, if you're inside those flood prone areas, you do have a pretty much a good chance of seeing some flash flooding. And if you go ahead around 72 hours out, you can see that the majority of South Carolina for the next 72 hours will see around a good inch to maybe even 2 inches of rain. And if we go to 120 hours, that expands even more. And this is where we have our moderate risk of excessive rainfall down here for Mississippi and Alabama, because they could get up to 6 inches of rain for the next 120 hours. So that's a lot of rainfall, especially for some of those areas as well. And the reason why places like New Orleans and Baton Rouge is getting that rain and that moderate risk of excessive rainfall is because they're already so close to the coast already, and it does flood pretty easily. So that's why they're under a moderate risk. But we do have a marginal risk for tomorrow, and then we do have a slight risk for most of the state, and then a marginal risk that goes all the way up to the upstate as well. Here's just another look at that as well, just from another model or another website. If we go to day 3, there's day 3. Here's day 4, nothing for day 4, and nothing for day 5. So we're good on those fronts. And let's go ahead and talk about the future. So here is the GFS model. If we go ahead and push it forward, there goes the storm system. That's going to bring us a lot of heavy rain and the potential for some severe weather. We were not too sure on severe weather, but it's really hard to forecast severe weather, especially with these systems right here. People were saying, oh, we'll be inside of a quiet period for the next couple of days, but obviously that has not been true so far. So, but there it is. I told you around May the 14th it was going to start raining again. And it looks like that's when it's going to start. So if we continue this forward, that's going to move out of the way. And as we get into May the 18th, more rain will pretty much show up to South Carolina. May the 20th, we'll get a heavy shield of rain that tries to come in. I'm not sure on severe weather just yet, but in terms of heavy rainfall, that's a lot. And then we have a little low pressure right here. That's with a trough right there. You can even see it in the rain. You can see kind of like this little arc right here. You see where the coordinates are on my mouse. That you see this little arc right there? That is pretty much a trough right there. And if you go ahead and look at the 850 millibar wind, you can see it right here. So that is a trough, and that could potentially bring some severe weather with it, going all the way into like southern Illinois, mainly portions of Illinois as well, near Chicago. And when it comes down to South Carolina, there will be another chance, I believe, going into May the 22nd. We'll see what happens, though. And we do get another chance of rain for like Canada and northern New York as well. We have another huge storm system right here that's going to try and come through and bring us some more rain. It just determines on if it happens or not, because it seems like it wants to try and break down and might not make it at all. So we'll see what happens. I do want to go ahead and look at the HRRR model just to see what it says as well. Because if it does show some rain, I do want to call it out. And then we're going to go ahead and hear from our audience. So if you're inside the live chat right now, go on ahead and leave a chat if you would like to. And we'll talk about it in a second. Here's the model though for the next, pretty much for the next 18 or so hours. Again, not really watching too much. There goes that rain though for tomorrow for the marginal risk of excessive rainfall. And there goes the rain for the western portion of South Carolina. There goes Beaufort getting some rain, Allendale getting some rain, Edgefield. That's going to start at around 10 a.m. on tomorrow. And then here's 11 a.m. right here. Here's 12 p.m. So we got a huge shield of rain that's going to try and enter the western portion of South Carolina tomorrow, going all the way pretty much from just west of Charleston, all the way up to just west of Orangeburg. Greenville's going to receive some, and pretty much this entire region is going to receive some as well. Looks like a little pocket right here may try to avoid the rain. We'll go to a different model though and show this on the 18Z. This is a full 48 hours. So here's what it kind of looks like as the rain tries to pick up 10 a.m. A very different scenario than what the 23Z was talking about. But we're going to go past all that. And here's 11 p.m. You see those downpours pushing through like the Augusta, Orangeburg, Charleston regions as well as up there. Widespread rain going into the early morning hours. And then there goes our chance of severe weather for pretty much this southern portion right here near pretty much for the low country of South Carolina has that chance for severe weather going into around 5 a.m. On May the 14th. So the very early time, those storms could potentially bring some damaging winds and some hail as well. Once that exits out, we're going to have another one that comes through right after it. But we're a bit too far out for the HRRR to talk about it. But you can see as it moves all the way up into like Conway, Myrtle Beach, and some heavy thunderstorms off the coast. So let's go ahead and hear from our audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, go on ahead and leave a little chat right now. And if you're on the live recording, right now, just the regular recording, you can join it at 9 o'clock p.m. Set a reminder if you have to. Set a timer. Set anything that you want to. If you know somebody comes home from work at like 9 o'clock and you know it's about that time, you can go on ahead. Anything that you need to do. But we do this for like any type of constructive criticism, any type of questions about the weather in general, or any type of, just how's your day or like what's going on. So let's go on ahead and hear from the chat. So here is our live chat from my perspective. So it says, good evening. I love the temperature this morning. I hope we get a few more days of it. And yes, I said this at the beginning, but yes, I do believe that there's a chance that we'll potentially have these temperatures again tomorrow morning. What's going on with you, cousin? I sure hope all is well with you. You are doing an awesome job. Thank you. We'll talk about San Antonio after this. It says, good evening, JP. And Mr. Oliver says, how's Ithaca, New York looking this week? So actually, let's go on ahead and show that real quick. So here, and then we're going to go all the way up to Ithaca, New York. Got to go to regular radar, because I have no idea where Ithaca is. So I'm going to type in Ithaca, New York, right here. Let me zoom out. Where is that near? Is that Pennsylvania right there. All right. So it's down here. So, I mean, as of now, nothing's going on. But if you go ahead and look at the GFS, we're going to go ahead and show this. Just got to wait for this thing to load up. And then, as of 5 o'clock, the GFS does paint a little shower just to the southwest. But if you go ahead and keep it pushing some more, here's tomorrow at around 8 a.m. some potential for some rain all the way up there. We're going to do precipitation type as well, so we can go ahead and get the snow, if there's any snow that's going to happen up there either. Just continue this forward. Some rain possible tomorrow as well. And then as a little bit of a more widespread or a bit of a more widespread event going into May the 14th as well. And just some more widespread showers possible on the 15th. The 16th as well is looking like it could be another big rain day. Same thing with the 17th as well. Continuing this some more. The 18th a little break. The 19th a little break. The 20th a break. So in terms of those next few days, it could be a rainy next couple of days for up there for Ithaca. In terms of temperature wise, just from New York, it's probably going to be definitely cooler than it is down here. Like already starting off at around 8 a.m. on May the 14th, it's already 54 degrees. And usually now inside South Carolina, it's already around like the upper 60s. by that time, and especially for summertime as well. But here around the 15th, we're going to have high temperatures around 58. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be very cooler. And maybe even temperatures down in the mid 40s going into 5 a.m. on the 16th. And then high temperatures, probably the highest temperature so far, around 65 at around 5 o'clock. The 17th comes through, and then it brings around 56 early in the morning, and then 64 for the high for that day for the 17th. Lows going to around the high 40s, and then we bring those highs back up into like 66 range on May the 18th at around 5 o'clock. And then it finally starts to get warmer as you get into your May the 19th time frame, but I think that's a bit further out than a week. So this is the 20th. It's around 8 days out, and the temperature is going to be 78, so very warmer up there. And while it's 78 up there, down here inside South Carolina, it's going to be around the same. So it's not going to be too hot unless you're down here near San Antonio, which let's go ahead and talk about that next. So going ahead and move on to the HRRR. We're going to show the temperatures for going into tonight and tomorrow. So starting off, here's around 84 around 3 o'clock. And then tonight, lows around 71. We go into tomorrow, pretty much for your high temperatures being around, I see around a good like 80 degrees or so. I don't know why it's, okay, there we go. All right. So around 90 today, and then lows tonight going around 74, 75-ish. And then as we go into tomorrow, look at those highs again going around to like 90 degrees or so, around there. Going into even 6 o'clock tomorrow could still be around 90 degrees. And as we go into tomorrow night for your lows, around 67. And then around 2 o'clock on the 14th, it will be around 89. In terms of precipitation wise, I mean, I'm guessing by these hot temperatures, if you do get a shower, it's probably going to cool it down just a tiny bit. But I'm not really seeing too much as of now until you get to around the 13th at around 11 o'clock. A strong storm could hit you tomorrow morning at around 11 o'clock. So you're going to have to watch out for a potential severe storm tomorrow. And then other than that, nothing else really for precipitation. Let's go ahead and show the SPC outlook. Obviously, with that strong storm, I'm going to guess that tomorrow, you are under a slight risk of severe weather. For tomorrow, that does come with a 15% risk of damaging winds. And that does come with a 15% hatch risk. Significant hail is potentially possible. So you're going to have to watch out for some tennis ball, maybe even baseball-sized hail in San Antonio for tomorrow as well. And you also are under a 2% chance of tornadoes for tomorrow. So cannot rule out an isolated tornado. But the biggest threat tomorrow is definitely going to be that hail, with hailstones potentially up into the tennis ball, baseball size range as well. Here's day 3, nothing. And then nothing else for day 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. In terms of excessive rainfall, here's today, you're under marginal risk going into tonight. And then it kind of moves off as you go into like the next couple of days or so. And then day 5, if you're in the northeastern or just the eastern or northern portion in general, you are under a marginal risk. But that's that. We do have some more things inside the chat, so let's go ahead and check those out as well. Hello Jay, thank you, and thank you for your family for a beautiful Mother's Day. Hold on. Hello Jay, thank you and your family for a beautiful Mother's Day. Thanks for the effort you put into being an accurate weather reporter. Thank you so much for that. And they said, thank you, I will need long sleeves and a jacket. Yeah, around like 55, 45 degrees. You're definitely going to need some of those long sleeves. And I need to send some of that heart's in the way. I need to send you some of that rain my way. LOL. In terms of, you're getting some severe weather tomorrow. So that should help out a little bit. And also, I do want to also talk about this because this is also pretty important. Here's the kind of like the average temperature for the week. It's going to be above average inside of South Carolina for this week. So in terms of temperature wise, and surprisingly up there for New York as well and Texas, is going to be all above average pretty much throughout most of the entire United States except for the West. In terms of precipitation wise, look at this. Look at it down there near Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia, where they're going to be super above average when it comes to precipitation with that system moving in, bringing around like 6 inches of rain. South Carolina's going to be above average with rain. New York up there is going to be above average, and Texas is going to be above average. So it's going to be above average pretty much again for temperature wise and precipitation wise for pretty much everyone on the East Coast. So we're going to have to watch out for some higher than average temperatures and some higher than average precipitation totals as well. But that's pretty much all that I have. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat one more time. See if we have anything. I don't see anything. Make sure that you guys all hit the like button as well. And make sure that you guys share the stream as well. We are still at 93. Last time that I checked, let me go ahead and go to view my channel. There you go, 95. So we are at 95 subscribers now. We need 5 more. We need 5 more subscribers and we will be to 100. We are so close. And at this point, I definitely do think that we will make it before the end of May. Around May the 31st, that's the last day for us to hit 100, and we're still around a good 19 days away. So we still do have time. It's definitely not out of the question. We just need 5 people to hit the subscribe button, and that's it. So thank you to whoever shared that and got us the 2 subscribers, but that's all that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this back off to the radar, and hopefully everyone has a fantastic night, and I'll be back tomorrow morning for your Monday forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic Sunday night, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.